Hey guys, I just wanted to share with you something that I've applied to my own daily walk with Christ that has really challenged me and pushed me to becoming a better Christian. And it's just something that was so beneficial that I had to share. So, when we all go to heaven, we're going to be judged. We know that when we face the Father, that He is going to judge us. And we can go before Him and we can be like, Lord, I'm a Christian. God, I love you. I love God. We can say all those things, but we know that God truly judges the heart. He's not going to judge the things that we appear to be when we go in front of Him. So when I was at the 2015 Pinky Promise Conference, which every woman should go to at least one point in their life, they really challenged us to, on a daily basis, ask God to expose our hearts to us. So just genuinely come before God and asking Him to show us what is really inside of our heart in order for us to repent and to rid our heart of anything that is not like Him in order to make it more like Him. And honestly, that is probably one of the hardest things I've ever asked God to do, because it just exposed to my eyes how ugly and how prideful and just how unchristlike my heart actually looks on a daily basis. And so it's really like getting a daily dose of humility, but it's something that has been able to help me so much as well. I would find myself in situations where I would either be annoyed by someone else throughout my day, or somebody would just rub me the wrong way or just get me really irritated, and I would just become really ugly and just have this really ugly spirit and demeanor about me. And I used to always blame how I felt and how I was acting and treating others on the person that made me upset. I would always place the blame on them. And so when I started going through this daily walk where I'm asking God to expose my heart, the one thing I really learned was that it's always me. I'm always the one to blame for the way that I'm feeling because of the things that I'm storing inside of my heart. And it took me asking Him to expose those things to me for me to realize that. And so I was able to start taking accountability for my part in the things that I was dealing with. So I actually have an example. This past week I worked Vacation Bible School, and we put a lot of preparation into that program, and we're really excited to share the gospel with the kids. And my job in particular was to preach the gospel each day and to share the Bible points and Bible verses that we were going over. And I remember the first day I was so discouraged by the end of that day and just really aggravated and irritated, because to me I felt like the kids were unappreciative of what we were doing. I felt like they were just really disrespectful, because some of them would be on their phones, and then a lot of them were just disengaged. So I felt that they would just be so rude. And I got to the point where I didn't even want to teach them anymore. I didn't even want to give them the best of myself, even that's why I was there. And so I remembered to stop and to ask God to expose the things that are in my heart in order for me to move forward and progress in this situation. Progress positively in the situation. And you know what He showed me? He was like, Justine, He was like, you are impatient, you are judgmental, and you are just being ugly. And I was just like, oh yeah, I guess you're right. And so this whole time I was sitting there focusing on what these kids were doing wrong and the flaws inside of these kids, that I was completely oblivious to the flaws of myself and the things that I needed to change in myself. And He showed me, He was like, Justine, I teach you things every day. And there are days when you are unappreciative. There are days when you are disrespectful. And there are days when you are rude. But I continue to love you just the same. And I continue to give my best to you when I teach you. So why wouldn't you do the same for them if you're supposed to be teaching them about me? And I was just like, well, there's my daily dose of humility for the day. Okay, moving forward. It was just ironic because we're at Vacation Bible School and I'm supposed to be teaching them about how to be like Jesus. But instead, through my actions, I'm showing them the exact opposite. And so it was just really an eye-opener for me, and something that I think is really important to apply to our Christian life. We're supposed to show other people how to be like Jesus through our actions, through our love. And if we are demonstrating the complete opposite, then how are we sharing the gospel? And it got to the point where I was able to realize that if they don't listen to anything I say or engage in any of the activities we put on, at least they will have felt Christ through my actions, through my love to them, through just my demeanor. And that would mean more than anything at the end of the day. And it was literally like each day of Vacation Bible School got better and better and better after I was able to open my eyes and realize that I was the problem. So it's just like, how many ways can that apply to just like daily struggles that we go through, daily situations that we find ourselves in? So the key is applying this to our daily life. So if you just find yourself in a situation where someone is just rubbing you the wrong way, or someone is just really aggravating you, or circumstances aggravating you, and you just find yourself acting totally outside of your Christian character, just stop. Just take a minute to stop and really genuinely ask God to expose your heart, and that anything inside of your heart that is not of Him, to remove it and to fill it with things that are of Him. Because in 51:10, it is so important. It says, "Create in me a pure heart, O God, and renew a steadfast spirit within me." So whatever is in our heart will exude through our spirit, and we want our spirit to exude Christ. That is our whole purpose as Christians, to be ambassadors, to be examples and lights of Christ in this dark world. When we're in situations and we expose our hearts and allow it to be filled with Jesus, now we're able to respond and interact with other people with love. Like, you have no choice, because Jesus is God and God is love. And so now you walk in love. And loving someone might be the most powerful tool we can use to change people's hearts and win over souls for Christ. So hey, even if the other person doesn't respond back in love and doesn't respond back to you in the kind of character that you were showing them, it is okay. Because you know why? Because one, you were sharing Jesus with them through your actions, through your demeanor. And two, you are becoming a better Christian. It doesn't get much better than that. I'm just letting you know now. So it is up to us as Christians to start taking accountability for what is in our hearts. And we have Proverbs 4:23, "Above all else, guard your heart, for it affects everything you do." So our heart is one of the most important gifts that we have as Christians, and so we have to use that gift to share Jesus and to share light with the world and with other people. So I hope you are encouraged by this message, and that you will genuinely try to apply this practice to your daily walk with Christ, and just ask Him to expose your heart so that way it can be filled with Him and you can share Him with others. Love you guys.